Hello Citizentube, Steve here, and if you've been paying attention to YouTube politics recently, you'll notice that we've spent a lot of time focusing on American politicians. But YouTube politics is not just for American politicians. Politicians around the world are using this medium to connect directly to the people. One politician that's been using YouTube particularly well is a person named David Cameron. He's the leader of the Conservative Party in the UK. Now Mr. Cameron's YouTube channel, which he calls Web Cameron UK, reaches out directly to voters, answers their questions, and gives a behind-the-scenes look at his life.
Touch with people's lives, to hear what they have to say, and to give them straight answers.
Well, Mr. Cameron, welcome to YouTube. We're very glad to have you here. And I'd like to know why you chose to start a YouTube channel and what you'd recommend other politicians do to use YouTube to reach out to people.
Well, I think YouTube is a great medium for communicating with people. That's why we have Web Cameron, so people can log onto the internet, have a look at what the Conservative Party is up to, what I'm up to, and that's the same reason for having a YouTube channel. What other politicians do, well, that's up to them. But I think having a presence on the internet, opening yourself up a bit and letting people having a look at what you do, what your policies are, what your ideas are, how you go about things in politics, that's what it's for.
A lot of people think that politicians are fake, that they're in it for the personal glory, or they're living inside of a bubble. Do you think that's true?
I think there is a danger of politicians living inside a bubble. Inevitably, in Westminster or in America, in Washington, there is a bit of a bubble of politicians and journalists talking to each other. I like to try and get out as much as possible. Today I'm in Wales. It doesn't always look quite this sunny. But no, I think politicians on the whole are in it for the right reasons. Most politicians I know care about the future of the country. They believe in public service. They believe that there's a vocation and that they're contributing something. And I think most politicians do. I hope that using things like Web Cameron and YouTube, people can see a bit more of what it is that makes politicians tick and what they do and what they believe in. And that we're not some kind of race apart. We're people like anybody else.
Why, if at all, should a young person even care about politics?
Well, young people are interested in politics. I mean, young people are interested in political issues. When I go to schools and colleges, I get a lot of questions about how am I going to pay my way through university? What are you going to do about the environment? Is there a prospect of me getting a flat or a house when I leave, when property prices are so expensive? Young people are desperately interested in political issues. I think they can sometimes be turned off party politics, and my approach is to say, first of all, let's be more reasonable in politics. If we agree with another party, let's say so. Let's show that we actually believe in working together for the common good. Let's talk about the issues young people are interested in. That includes the environment, the developing world, but also bread and butter issues like getting a house, getting a flat, paying for university, getting a good job. I think that would help too.
Now, local elections are coming up in the UK on May 3rd, and I've noticed that your campaign slogan is, "Vote Blue, Go Green." Why are you making the environment such an important part of your campaign?
Well, it is an important issue, but it's also an important issue in terms of local government. Lots of people say, well, why should I vote in local elections? And I would say to people, look, if you care about crime and antisocial behaviour, there is something your local council can do. If they clean the streets, if they clear up the litter and the graffiti, clean streets are safe streets. You can improve an area and cut crime by making sure that it's well kept, well looked after, and properly cleaned and the rest of it. That's what we're saying. Fight the crime, and you can also cut the crime. And that's where the Vote Blue, Go Green message comes in. And local councils are responsible for these things. They're responsible for recycling. They're responsible for clean streets and for community safety. So I think it's the right message. It's something Conservative councils do very well. Something that I think should be the absolute #1 in this election.
If you had a magic political wand that could solve one problem in the world today that, once solved, would lead to a lot of other problems being solved, which problem would you choose?
Magic wand. I think politicians don't have all the answers. That's part of my credo, is that governments can't change everything. We need society to change. And I think if I had a magic wand, it would be to try and help strengthen families. Because if you ask yourself, what's the institution in society that brings up children, that helps keep people away from crime, that looks after the elderly, that cares for the disabled, that looks after the sick? Well, it is the family. The family is such an important institution. And I think a society with strong families, will be a strong society. So that would be my magic wand. I think as a country, I think the United Kingdom, we can punch above our weight. We're incredibly fortunate. We've got the English language, we've got a successful economy, we've got great links around the world through the Commonwealth, through the European Union, through our leadership in NATO, through our special relationship with America. We've got great relationships, and I think Britain can be a champion of liberal democracy. I think we need to be practical people and recognise the limits of our power and influence, but we can be a force for good. We can work with our allies to actually increase democracy, prosperity and stability in the world, and that's what we should do.